And we will start. Little meditation. Here. Okay. Here we are, Still Holding the Door, Season 2, Episode 8, Women of Influence. This is... I want this to sound cool. This is entrepreneur, mover, nature lover, Kayli Dunk.
Aw, that's such a nice introduction. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Humble show. Like I said before, yeah, we dive pretty much right into like not just deep topics, but topics that will kind of reach inside to. Oh, I should be talking to this. Topics that reach inside to, yeah, kind of pry out a conversation based on the experience of the person, and then we just kind of reflect. So I'm going to start this off. I was really stoked on this question. If you could have a conversation with the forests, the oceans, and the mountains, what do you think they would say about who you've become at 30?
Wow. They've seen me through my entire life. I was really lucky to grow up in the woods. I grew up on 5 acres of land on the Sunshine Coast, and I grew up climbing trees and playing on rocks and swimming in the ocean every chance I could get. Even in the middle of the winter in a storm, I'd be in there. I just love interacting with the world like a playground, and I think the mountains, the oceans, and the trees would be really proud to see me grow up to who I am now, 30 years of life, and still be playing on this earth, like just enjoying my time here, climbing trees, climbing rocks bigger than I did when I was a kid now, just diving deep into the things I used to love as a child, and just embodying that even more these days. Yeah, I think they'd be proud of me and just be happy that I'm still enjoying my play.
Also, happy birthday. I know that was recently. We should just acknowledge that. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Staying on the topic of nature, how does nature influence the way you show up in relationship and in your creative practices?
I think nature really helps me find my center. If I ever feel like I'm overwhelmed, I'll go to nature, usually in solitude, or just come back to myself that way. Just connecting with the beautiful sunset or the calm waves of an ocean or the still greens of a tree. It just really brings me back to peace. So I'm able to show up in the rest of my life with a bit more peace, and I can feel the energy, like the anxiety moving out of my body and like flowing into a river, for example. And it's really transformative, even in the span of maybe 10 minutes. Just being with nature allows me to go back to the world from a more grounded place. And I think it's so important to slow down. I can get really caught up in the go of my world. I often like to maximize my life, and but that can really drain your creative energy. So to be able to go into nature and slow down a little bit, just get away from it all. Just sometimes I'll go for like an 8-hour hike by myself, and by the end of it, I've processed a lot. I'm thinking the whole time. Sometimes I'll journal out there, and then I'll come back like invigorated, full of like more energy and creative flow. And this reminds me that sometimes doing less is more, is what you need in that moment. Yeah.
Do you have a specific place that you often return to, either now or from your childhood, that perhaps maybe you have seen pass through time as much as it's seen you pass through time?
That's a beautiful question. I guess where my parents live on the Sunshine Coast, it's a really beautiful place. We moved from where I originally grew up, but for the last 10 years of my childhood, I lived in this house overlooking the ocean. There's 12 acres of land there. So coming back there, I'm always excited to reset whenever I go back and visit my family. And it just always brings me back to peace. And I also love collecting spring water. 10 minutes from where I live now in North Vancouver.
Nice.
I go and I receive from the earth, and then I go into the woods and I go down to the river, and I just spend some time with the river. And
Cool.
So it's a nice ritual.
Nice. Describe one of these spots in North Van. Do you always go to the same? Do you have a spot that you return to after filling water, or do you always meander somewhere new?
Yeah, good question. I usually pick a certain region and then just kind of go where I feel called. Sometimes I'll go in for a dip, and so there's a specific spot that I love to go to that's nice and protected. There's a waterfall there. Um,
Mm.
and then there's another spot that I'll just kind of like walk wherever nobody is. That's basically what I'm looking for. Is
Yeah.
if people are there, I'll go somewhere else.
I know that feeling.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good compass.
Yeah, that's the compass.
Great
Um,
questions. I love talking about nature.
So, growing up in the Sunshine Coast, what does it mean to carry a connection to the wild into this urban environment? Like growing up in the Sunshine Coast, how do you maintain that feeling of connection to land, connection to nature, living in a city? Like, do you find that? Well, let me revise that. Do you find that living in the city makes it more difficult, and that you have to actually live physically closer to nature to retain that connection? Like, if you lived closer to the center of the city, would you find it harder to like maintain that balance, or do you find that balance just in the way that you live?
Mm. I've curated my life to be more in nature. I intentionally chose to live in North Vancouver due to the proximity to the woods, and I have a beautiful backyard. Like there's a garden and there's a nice space where I feel like I'm not in the city. It feels like I'm
Mm.
in my own little oasis. It's quite the sanctuary. I think that in the city we can create our own nature. We can bring plants and animals into our lives and feel more connected to things that aren't urban.
Mm.
But I do really believe in being close to nature. It's really hard to replicate the feeling of like walking outside your door and hearing the birds chirp and like seeing trees everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty green here, like even outside right now. Like I look out there and it doesn't feel like we're in a city.
Yeah, I
So.
do agree. There is something. I mean, living in Mount Pleasant specifically is one of my favorite neighborhoods, just because there's a lot of flowers, trees, birds. I grew up in a. Do you know where North Delta is?
Delta, yeah.
Delta, yeah. So I grew up in Delta, right next to the bog. So the bog is literally like 1,000 hectares of just
Wow.
raw forest and peat.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's all like really soft ground, but there's like owls and birds and coyotes and all these animals. So wherever I lived, if I didn't live in a neighborhood that had this sound of birds and like bees buzzing, like that feeling of seeing the cycles in nature. So not just being like, I'm around forest, but seeing like nature work. If it's too dense of city, I don't see nature work. Seeing a tree is not enough for me. Seeing a single bird, I have to see the birds playing. I have to see the bees buzzing and the flowers growing, and like seeing the cycles of.
The cyclical nature of it.
So even in this neighborhood, like I can see the cyclical nature and feel still that natural element, even though I would prefer to be in the middle of a forest on a river.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, there's even a tapered version of it when I'm in the city. So even that I'm here and I have access to like coffee shops and good food and my friends, I still feel like when I walk through the neighborhood that I do that. This is a fun game for myself. I do this sometimes when I'm driving. When someone else is driving and I'm a passenger, but when I'm walking to the gym, I actually walk to the gym and I will dull the focus of everything man-made. This is the thing that I try and practice. And so when I walk, only thing I can see is trees, flowers, birds. So people walking, cars driving, buildings. I actually purposefully try and blur them so that all I see are the natural elements to see if I'm missing some. And so my friend Rebecca Steele, shout out, she lived in New York City. And when she lived in New York City, she said it was really difficult to like always find that connection to things. And she goes, she would practice. I was inspired by this because she called it her slow walks. She's like, I'll walk one block, and instead of walking it in 10 minutes, I'll walk it in an hour. And so she would walk so slow that you naturally catch things that you wouldn't normally catch. Like a corner of a building looks funny, and there's like some weird painting in the corner that you would never notice. And so I took that ethos and applied that to, well, I'm going to do this slow walk to the gym where I walk really slow, but all I'm going to notice is the natural elements to see if there's some. And in doing that, I found all these little gardens. I found herbs that grow that I never knew grow, like lemon balm and mint and whatever. And not just in gardens, like just wild, just in certain corners of places I found them. So I feel like that's reflecting on the question I gave you. That's how I retain that connection to nature, is by having these little games and practices in a city so that I can still feel like I'm bonding with nature, even when I'm not immersed out in it, even though I always pretty much want to be out in it. Um, yeah.
Yeah, nature prevails, right? She's
Yeah.
everywhere, just poking through the little cracks in the sidewalk. Like Amanita muscaria is just growing everywhere in
Yeah.
Vancouver, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
nature's
know. I don't know
powerful.
many major cities that still have a natural element like this one. I don't
Hmm.
know any. I've been to lots in the States, and still I'm sure there's hundreds I haven't been to, but that still have a close enough connection to like city life and community, but still have. I can 20 minutes. I can be out in the woods.
Mm.
I feel like that's become more important. So we'll switch gears because you do lots of cool stuff. So you do something called acro yoga.
Mm.
Can you explain first to an audience member who may not have any clue what that is in layman's terms?
Yeah, acro yoga is so playful. It's so fun. It's basically two or more people combining their bodies in a way, and it's so hard to describe it. But you're creating poses in the air, like lifting people up, holding each other, balancing each other.
Mhm.
You can go through flows, you can do tricks, you can do flips. Um, yeah, it's really fun.
And in doing, or actually, first, how did you find acro yoga?
I
How
did
did
a
that come
little
into
bit
your
of
life?
like solo acrobatics in high school.
Okay.
So I was always kind of into that scene. And then going to festivals, I experienced a few workshops and I loved it. And yeah, the community here in Vancouver is really talented. There's a lot of really skilled instructors here. So I would attend a class and just fell in love with the people, fell in love with the inclusivity, the warmth of the teachers, just make you feel like a part of it.
Mm.
It's a really nice community for that. And yeah, it's a great way to move your body and stay active. And it's like a full body engagement.
Mhm.
So I just love anything like that where your entire body is like fully activated. So yeah, that's how I found it and fell in love with it.
Mm. And you would agree that there's a lot of trust involved.
Yes, absolutely. You're
Yeah.
trusting, you're upside down on someone's feet and you're balancing with every little might that you have in your body, and then they're holding you up. So if you fall, it could be a combination of both of your factors, but yeah, you have to know how to bail, and the person has to help you with that as well.
Hmm. A
Yeah,
controlled bail.
a controlled bail. Honestly, any sport you need to know how to
Yes,
bail.
100%. I'm 100%. Relating to that high body awareness and trust, how do you feel that that has informed who you have become and who you are becoming?
Hmm. Yeah, it's shown me that I'm a pretty trusting person. Like I have faith in the person and myself to like to figure something out. And even if we fall and we fail, like it's not the end of the world. We
Mm.
can always get back up and try again. And it's taught me to trust my body and to trust my communication. We all have a voice, and I've struggled throughout my life to express myself. Acro yoga has actually been really helpful for being able to tune into what happened for me during that flow you just experienced with this partner, see what went wrong for yourself and express that. And it's received in a really beautiful way. So it's shown me that it's okay to have conflict, it's okay to fail, and it's okay to express your side of it. And if you're met with someone who's also on that same page as you, who's open to communicating, then it can be a really beautiful way to grow that trust and grow in that relationship that you have within your flow and beyond that. It
Mm.
really creates a lot of deep bonds in this community.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, it just shows me that I know myself. And yeah, it can be complicated to be upside down sometimes, but just with practice, with anything in life, you get better at it.
So you're saying in life, when we get upside down esoterically, you have a solution because of acro. Like I mean, like I feel like any physical pursuit and physical challenge that has a high level of difficulty and danger involved, I have found, I don't know if you found this, but you have a higher level of resilience to hard things happening. Like if you lose a friendship, you lose a parent, you lose like when hard things really happen. I feel like people who endure hard things, whether it's doing acro or like sitting in a river or doing like dangerous things, I don't know. My personal experience is that it increases the level of resilience to life, because life is unpredictable. Life is dangerous. Like walking down the street, you can get hit by a car. You can, so many dangerous things exist simultaneously while we're like, oh, this is nice. This is soft and comfortable. I find that people that do challenging things have a higher level of resilience. Do you want to say something? Okay. Yeah,
I was going to ask if the acro community generally draws align people together? Or have you found that there's instances where, I don't know, partnerships or sessions or flows with someone just like doesn't work, or you can't make it work? Or is it usually to a skill level and to an understanding that like, okay, we'll be able to play around and do some stuff?
Yeah, you definitely, I would say you can make most things work with most people. Like, I'll take a beginner and I'll show them some basic stuff. And it takes some time, we call it calibration, to kind of feel the weight of your partnership and understand, like, okay, you have long legs. I need to put my feet here rather than there.
Mm.
So once you kind of figure those little quirks out, it can become quite easy. But it does take at least one person with some knowledge, I find, to be able to create something successful. Yeah, because
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's a lot of like
Cool.
little calculations that you can change and adapt to make something work. And it can be so small. It can be like a 2 degree rotation of your foot, and then all of a sudden the movement works where you were trying it 5 times before and it wasn't working. So
Ah,
it really is quite nitty gritty like that.
that's cool, though, that there's a bit of a like teacher-student dynamic within the partnership that helps it flourish and grow and succeed, rather than two
Absolutely.
beginners just kind of being like, how do we do this? How do I launch you off my foot? And
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
recommend always having a spot or two for the audience.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
make sure someone's always there supporting you. There's actually a lot of depth you can learn about how to properly spot somebody.
Nice.
Mhm.
And then is acro right now at the sort of like center or root of your movement practice? Did that come later on? Like, are there other movement modalities that you find enriching at the moment?
Yeah, acro is big up there right now. I've been doing it more over the winter. It's a great sport because you're indoors
Right.
and you're still in community. So I've been doing more of the circus spaces, like some bigger like skills and tricks with more talented acrobats there. And I've been really enjoying pushing myself and seeing that I can accomplish these things that seemed really out there. You watch somebody do this flip and you think there's no way I can do it, but
Right.
if someone's properly teaching you, you can.
Mm.
And then climbing has been a big love of mine for the
Mm.
last 4 years. So I'm diving more into the outdoor climbing world now that the sun's coming back out. I'm actually going to go to Lighthouse Park later today and climb next to the ocean and watch the sunset. And
I know the
it's
spot.
just so
Yeah.
magical
Yeah.
there.
I know that exact spot.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
so beautiful.
I know. We're so lucky here just to be able to like drive 20 minutes and
Yeah.
you're, climbing next to the ocean. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I mean, really, any activity
Yeah.
you want to do in life, it probably exists in some community in this
In the city.
geographical space in the world.
And it's not going to be
Absolutely.
packed.
Yeah.
Except for going to the beach in the summer. In the beach in the summer, it'll be packed. But like if you're
Yeah.
going to this climbing spot, like really only climbers are going to go there, and the odd tourist who's like, oh, that's nice, click, and then walk away. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is there, it's funny, you were talking about the teacher-student dynamic. When I did acro a few times, the person I was doing it with was extremely skilled. And she was essentially teaching me while she was flying on me. So I was the base, and she was just like, okay, now do this with your foot. And I was flipping her. I forget what the move is called, but she's hanging upside down. And she's working with me, but I move my feet in a certain way. And she goes from hanging to like,
Wow. That's
Yeah.
advanced.
and she taught that to me while doing it on me.
Wow.
And we had a lot of trust, and she knows my competency level. I learn physical things very quick, but still there was a chance I may not get it right. And she was like, no, you move it just like this. Yeah. See, because she can feel it on her body. And she goes, no, a little bit outwards and like a little bit more grip here. And like, okay, slightly up. And she knew exactly how to. So when you were saying that, I remember that whole experience and the feeling of accomplishment I had watching her do the move. Like when someone flips off your feet, I was like, oh my God,
That's
I
so
can't believe that just
satisfying.
happened. I know that wasn't all me, but holy, like it was very
It's
satisfying.
empowering.
It's really empowering. And also just the amount of communication you have to have is so high. Like whether it's verbal or just the physical, like it's so, you're so focused on what's happening. You're like, oh, what am I going to eat later?
Right.
Like if you're thinking about eating pizza later and you drop her on her head, like,
It's not going to go well.
no, it's not going to go well. I'm not going to trust you anymore. So like you have to be, it's also one of those things you have to be really tapped, like climbing. You fuck up and you're dead.
Yeah.
You can't fuck up.
Mhm.
And if you do, hopefully you're tied in. But like there's also a lot of trust factors going on that you accept there's a high risk in doing it, but you have to be, and there
You're
is
dialed.
something,
You have to be
there's
dialed.
something addictive to being dialed.
Mm.
I know there's like people who also do challenging things have it in them to be like, I want to be dialed.
Mm.
They kind of have that personality to be like, you get like, it's a very like, I'm alive right
Yes. it brings you into the present.
Yeah.
Most of my sports do that.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about something else, like you're not connected to what you're doing and things can go wrong.
And that's why those communities are probably attractive. It's like, it's other people who want to be connected and dialed and like learning and growing, but also like letting go. Like there's so many.
And playful, you know?
Playful,
yeah,
of course.
It doesn't always have to be like serious.
No.
You can just, figure it out together. And
It
have
can
a
be
good time.
both.
Yeah.
It can 100% be both. I kind of wanted to switch again because you do so many things. So you're a business owner. How about that?
I'm a small business owner now.
Small business owner. And
Official.
what is your business?
It is a mobile sauna business.
What's it called?
Prana Sauna.
Prana Sauna.
Yes. I built the sauna with my dad together. It took us about a year. I designed it and we made it come to life. So now I can use power tools, which is awesome. And he's a carpenter, so he was a really skilled man to have on the job.
Of course.
So I've been operating I just finished my second winter season on the Sunshine Coast. And my sauna it's really grown from the inception of it, taking it to a beach once a month and having people come and growing community that way and seeing people fall in love with the sauna and buying saunas of their own from that, making new friendships and, long-lasting connections through it, which is why I wanted to build it, was to have people come together through something that's about physical wellness and connection as well. So yeah, it's really beautiful seeing that dream come to reality. And now I've been lucky enough to have timed this with the expansion of the Sunshine Coast's tourism.
Oh.
So they've created a winter season for vending. So I've been able to bring my sauna down to the ocean and just park it there over the last 3 months. It's been
in Seychelles?
In the downtown core of Seychelles, yeah. So people are being able to visit, use the sauna, go in the ocean, tourists from Vancouver, community that lives on the coast, doing all sorts of things like sound baths and Wim Hof workshops and just fun ways to connect and focus on your wellness in the sauna space.
This is the place to run a business like that. This the not just the Sunshine Coast, but like BC. Like this might be the most wellness focused place. So that's such a aligned thing to do as a business. I think about that a lot. It's like, how do you get more into health, and how do you increase the international ethos of like, hey, we should focus more on these things. Like sauna culture here has taken off past couple of years, I've noticed. Where do you want to see that? Where would you like to see that business go? Like what's the ideal version of that business standing for you?
So actually, this is what I was dreaming of, and it's happening for me now. I was dreaming of creating this space because it's really connected to a lot of my values, but I also wanted to be able to support myself through working less and still having a passive income. So that's what I was experiencing over the last 3 months, was having people help me running the sauna while I live here in a different place than the sauna business is built, and still be able to, have them make some money and I can make some money. And now this weekend after my last sauna event, I'm going to be bringing it to a campground for the summer. So I'll have the campground host will be running the sauna sessions, and it's like a revenue split. So it's really nice the way it's worked out. This is kind of my dream, is to be able to have people using the sauna and be able to live my life still and go back and throw events when I want to. And I really love facilitating things and watching people light up from it. But I'm kind of where I was wanting to be, and it happened really quickly, and I'm really, really, really grateful for it. It feels like everything aligned with perfect divine timing.
Wow. What future ideas for business do you have? Like based on that landing so clearly into what you want, are there other ideas in your heart that speak loudly that you'd like to make happen?
I could be down to expand. Yeah, I think that's a great way to grow your business. So bringing Prana Sauna to Vancouver, perhaps even Squamish. I met somebody who has a mobile sauna business in Squamish, and he brought his sauna down to the House Sound Inlet, and we just saunaed and went back to the ocean. And there's not a permanent sauna location there. So there's so many places in this beautiful area that you could have a mobile sauna business next to a body of water and operate the way that I have been operating. Now that the systems are in place, it would be easy enough to expand that. So that is something I have on my radar, and I have made some steps towards making that happen. And I think I'll continue to pursue that and see what comes of it.
So essentially letting like the flow continue to happen, because clearly the flow has been happening.
Yeah, putting yourself out there and seeing what's received from the universe, and if it's meant to be, it'll match you.
What were you doing before the sauna thing took off? And how long did you dream or plan or think about this idea before you were like, nope, this is the thing to invest in, or, you know?
Yeah, I'm a radiographer. I'm still doing that pretty much full time right now. So X-ray, CT scans at hospitals throughout the Lower Mainland, and I was able to fund building the sauna through that.
Yeah.
So I travel around BC, and you'd be working quite a bit, like 2 weeks straight, basically working on call. But I was able to financially fund the build of the sauna, and yeah, my dream was to work like a couple days a week at the hospital, and then have the sauna on the weekends, and have that be enough like work for me to survive. I still think I need to spend a bit more time on building the sauna business to get it to the point where I can rely on that as my like income source. So I'm still working at the hospital right now. I actually just got a job offer yesterday for a position that I'm really excited about. So things are about to change in a big way for me.
Cool.
At the hospital?
It's actually at a clinic. So I'll be stepping out of the hospital space and entering a more relaxed, calm environment. But I'll be in a leadership role, which is really exciting. So that'll be a big change.
Yeah, I was gonna say these are two very different healing recovery spaces that you occupy. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Is there?
Sure.
Do you feel like one place of work informs the other, or is there a disconnect? Or
Yeah, the medical system, I don't think is that connected to preventative healthcare, which is why I love the sauna, because it's so great at reducing your risk of stroke, cardiovascular disease. It keeps people healthy and out of the hospital. So I think that was a part of it too. That was part of my inspiration, was working in the hospital and seeing like, oh, if people like had more options to take care of themselves, maybe they wouldn't end up here. So that was an exciting part for me to start the business as well.
Nice. Cool.
Now I'm like, I don't want to shit on the public free healthcare system, but I find that there is a lot to be desired with how we are as a culture focusing on healing, whereas I think our younger generations are a lot more hype on preventative. You should probably exercise. You should probably sauna. You should probably sit in a river. You should probably eat well. You should probably sleep properly. You should probably actually not work so much and increase your cortisol levels to a dangerous point where a whole host of things can happen to you. And you are working literally in the pinnacle of the post. You know what I mean? Like if there's preventative and there's all the things we do after someone's been injured and hurt, you're pretty much near the end of that line. Like something's really bad is happening to you, or we're checking to see if it is, and you are the person going like and checking that body. How has that affected your health to be someone who is technically, I guess, part of a healing modality? That is a healing modality. You're helping people identify. How has that affected your health?
Like the way I go about my life. Oh yeah, I think I've always been pretty healthy. I don't think it's changed it, honestly. If anything, it's probably this work has made my health worse, because it is a really draining atmosphere to be in. Healthcare and just looking after people all day
Respect.
long. Thanks. Working throughout the pandemic was wild. Like that was actually a big inspiration for me to start the sauna business. I thought to myself, I don't want to ever have to do that again. I was just working a lot and everybody was quite sick, and it was a really challenging time. It changed, I guess, the way that I live my life. I think I've always been someone to seize the day and seize the opportunity, but even more so after experiencing that time of my life, I realized you have no guarantee of how many days you have. You could be 25 and be diagnosed with something. I usually try to just follow my dreams as soon as I can and not put it off for another day. And I guess that's been a blessing to also watch people who are aging and see how that affects you. And just to understand something that a lot of people don't get insight into until maybe their grandparents start to age or their parents go through health things. And it is an honor to be able to experience that and know what that's like, so that I don't take my youth for granted.
Yeah, you are preparing early, because we're all going to endure hardship, but rarely do we endure it until it's in our face. Whereas like your job is literally for it to be in your face. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. Do you have any mantras in your life that you speak to yourself or write down, or like, do you have a practice that is very personal? Like I mean, you can see around you can't really see it, but there's little stickies everywhere. Like, you are enough. You have empathy. I speak to myself. Do you have mantras in your life that you speak?
I go through phases of starting my day with a meditation, and sometimes that's affirmations as well. And it is really transformative just to speak these things out loud, even for a couple minutes. I wouldn't say that I have a practice as much as I used to. When I was building the sauna business, I would do like a weekly check-in with myself, and I'd write down an intention and I am statement. And it would change from week to week, but it was really powerful. I'd put it on my fridge and I'd read that. It would also be, kind of segmented into health, happiness, and hustle, which is inspired by Brooklyn.
Hey.
Yeah. So that was amazing. That actually really helped me grow multiple businesses, because I started another little side hustle before the sauna. So it was incredible being able to break down, this is like the areas of my life I want to focus on, and it's very holistic. And look at that on the fridge every day, because it's easy to forget these things. So writing it out
very
is
easy.
Powerful.
It's that time.
Oh, it is that time. Yeah. Okay. Our classic finisher question. What are you hopeful about right now?
Well, the weather is incredible. It is May 1st and it's like 25 degrees out. So I'm just so excited to be working just a single job this summer. Have more free time, and I'm prioritizing relationships, and that's feeling so good to be a bit more like grounded in my communities here in Vancouver. And I'm just hopeful about people seeing who I am, and just being loved for who I am, and finding my humans more. And about this new position, I'm really excited to step into my power and to see who I can become, and hopefully have a great influence on the people around me.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Bam.
I think you're gonna have a swell summer.
Yeah,
that sounds fucking great.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We do something usually creative every time we finish, and now I can't think of like what could be cool. Maybe a resonant sound or a prayer.
Do a boom boom smack on the ground.
A boom boom smack?
Yeah.
What's a boom boom smack? Show me a boom boom smack.
You go 1, 2, and then down on the ground.
Okay.
Kind of like.
Okay. Let's go. Just so we stay in frame. Let's go. Boom, boom.
Okay.
And on that, that's gonna be the title clap. Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna look at the camera, and you lead us. We're ready.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2.
Hey!